Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and I know the way I'm doing my videos, I'm sitting out in front of my home. I'm not going to go get on the road near a park where kids are out playing and people driving 60 miles per hour through there and getting really close to my car. Crazy people. But, yeah, I used to do that, and not doing it anymore. It's too risky. My goodness, there are kids out there playing. But anyway, I came outside because we, like much of the nation, is waiting for a terrible storm, winter storm. And today is January 21st, 2026. What day of the week is it? Wednesday? I think so. Yeah, and Friday it's supposed to start. Sometime Friday we'll get some snow. This is Texas, north of Dallas, northeast Dallas, and a suburb and a city all to itself. But we're expecting snow, ice. They said they're talking. They said, of course, it can change by then, but depending on where that whatever goes, we're expecting. There was a large amount of ice, which is going to shut things down. And I even heard that it might be the same as that historic Texas winter storm that we had. When was it? 2021. It was horrible. Back then I was saying, oh, it wasn't that bad. I was still in shock when I said that. Seriously, it was horrible. We even had a pipe burst during all of it. Luckily, one of our neighbors owns a remodeling business and knew how to handle it. Seriously. Okay. And Adam, he had just gotten out of the hospital and had almost died. Seriously, it was his, he had, I don't even remember all that was wrong with him. One of them was he had so many cc's or whatever of blood in his lungs or something. I don't even remember. It was horrible. And I was having to take care of him. He was on medications for the pain and all, so he was pretty much out of it. And, and our lights flickered a few times. I was terrified. I was all by myself with him. And then one of our dogs, another one, was at the kennel. And that dog that died not long after that. It had, we didn't know, but it had cancer. And it was not wanting to go outside. The big German Shepherd, I called it German Shepherd. Black German Shepherd and bear, B-E-A-R, mix. It was big. But, whew, that was a lot said right then. But right now I decided I had my cell phone off because I am so tired of dealing with medical. Seriously. By the way, my videos on this topic may be all wacky, different dates, just before that and all that. But I have so many videos on my cell phone, which is what I use to do these. So many videos on it that I'm behind. But some of this stuff is important for background. It's kind of like one of those shows or movies or series or episodes, whatever, where they tell who done it kind of thing, who done it, before they do the show, they tell the end before they do the beginning. I never liked those. Or books like that, they would tell you what happened, who done it, and all that. And Elspeth I like the show Elspeth, but I don't like that they do that. Something like that. I think they're changing it. Because, yeah, who wants to know? I want to figure it out. But anyway, my videos are becoming like that because I just can't keep up. And on this topic, the medical is just one traumatic experience after another. Really, at some point it becomes just trauma, just trauma. And I feel very stigmatized by some of them. So all that on top of, and this has been going on. This has basically been going on for a lot longer than just recently, but it changed the people who were providing it and all this, the providers, not just the providers, but I got a health insurance in 2024, but I had it a little bit in 2023 and was so disgusted right away. I saw a nurse practitioner, and she ran up the bill right away. It's great. I don't really pay all that much myself, hardly anything, but she ran up with her visit and the blood test, right around $900, was it, or however much. It never explained any of it to me, and apparently at some point I was diagnosed as anemic. I think the next year. Nobody explained it to me. And then this is the biggest problem. They want so many appointments. They want an appointment to see the provider, and if only one of them, I think, well, two of them, I think they do the test there. But you have one of them, they do the there, but I think that you have to make an appointment for that. So there's 2 appointments, and then you have a follow-up appointment. That's 3 appointments, and that follow-up is supposed to be talking to the customer about the follow-up on the blood test. But I didn't know this at first. I figured they would tell, or they would do, but what they were doing was finding reason to have more blood tests or more procedures. And one of them was they were going from A to Z procedures. I mean, the big time procedures. Somebody actually, surgery kind of thing. It's not really a surgery, it's exploratory in my body when there is no reason for it. They won't say that there is. I ask, is it medically necessary? They won't answer. You get it. So much. And now I have a problem. I went to an urgent care for on the 7th. I'm going to leave out what. And they came back with the weirdest thing. I did what I needed to do there. It was supposed to be, was it this, that, or the other? And once I got there, I was traumatized by the whole phone conversation with the person, 2 of them. And when I got there, they said the MA that checked me in, she said we only get 15 minutes, and 5 of it is mine, and the MA, and the 10 minutes is for the provider. Well, apparently they were going to separate it all out to at least 3 visits plus follow-ups, and you get the picture. And then they said for me to go through my PCV. That's not how it's supposed to be. I Googled it even, and I've called since then. I've written to the provider's office saying I need to know how many visits this is going to be, how many providers visits, how many lab visits, and 1, 2, and I numbered them, and 3, how many follow-up visits this is going to be. Now that's after I called their complaint line and left a complaint, and apparently the complaint line did call them, and they didn't follow instructions. Mine was, I need to know why it's medically necessary that I just went to an urgent care, and now they're telling me that I need to come to have a telemed visit. But they did not say that why it's medically necessary. They never do. And what she actually said, the nurse, was typically they do it, but they're going to need to do it with me. No, they don't need to do it with me. Already did it. And they're dragging it out so they can say more and more. Well, it's more and more days gone by, so it's more and more and more. So I asked very professionally. I was a career student. I had to write many, many, many papers. They'd hold my papers up and say, "This is how you write a paper." I'm horrible with speaking. I know I'm not a good public speaker or any kind of speaker. And don't look at my my description, because I need to go in there and change all that, and I'm just too lazy to. And it was thrown to pieces, thrown together, copy pasted, and all that. But I know there was a typo also. But no, I'm much better at writing. Even I worked for doctors in the meanwhile, and I was a career student over 20 years. And one of that doctors said that I did medical billing, and I would write them, explaining stuff. And he said, the way you write is so professional. It's like you're better than an attorney. So I can write, man. I can write. So I did it very clear, very direct, very to the point. No playing around, no added things like I do on a video. I have not received any answer. And so after that, I've made various phone calls to urgent care. They didn't really want to answer. So what is the problem? Why can't you give me an answer? I mean, I understand that they could say, well, this and then that and then the other, and then this could come up and that. So in the email the portal message I sent, I said, maximum. How many visits? How many of these 3? Okay. Now there's a maximum. There has to be a maximum. This is not I actually Googled it and it said 1 visit should take care of all of it. No. Adam just drove up, took some groceries out of the back because we're expected, we're loading up for this storm and making sure we have enough. And he just walked in the house, and I don't think he realized I was out here. He did it the other day, and it surprised him because he turned around and looked at me, and he's like, "Who's in the car?" He's in my SUV. It's not a car. But anyway. Okay, well, anyway, where was I? Took a little break. I'm eating a cookie. I forgot I'd taken my insulin. But anyway, today I used my landline. I left my phone off because that's where it shows up on my phone. And I mentioned this, I started calling urgent cares, not even within this system, one of them, and called, and nobody wants to answer. I asked the woman, I said, why can't I get a straight answer? Like I was saying. And like I said, I understand. She didn't say that. She finally said, well, just one appointment. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. It's just one appointment. I actually am. I just want to see how they started. And I called another one. She wouldn't answer at all. She said, I don't know. I'm new to this. I don't understand. I don't know how they do it. I'm gonna find some way to not answer so they can rack it up. And somebody that works in that insurance has told me in the past, last year, I don't know why I was ill, and I don't know if somebody had called me because they're checking my account, and they said you need to speak to someone. I was ill, and I didn't take down all the stuff I usually do, the name, time and date and all that, phone number, department, all that. I was ill. Okay. And they love calling me even though I have a do not call, and I've verified that again today. It took 3 phone calls, but I finally got through to somebody and verified that it does say do not call. Do not call, period. But they're going to do it anyway. And that was the whole reason for all this, another part of it. But anyway, trying to find somebody to get answers is impossible. But that one that called me is from a different area. It's not from this county. It's a different county. She had told me, think the difference between right and left, okay? She told me, the one that they transferred me to, don't know who she was, what department or anything. She had told me that the doctors are doing these things wrong. The doctors were doing these things wrong, and it could lead to, and she kind of got low on her voice, but I was pretty sure what she said. And she said it could cause problems for them. And sometime fast forward here, it's actually called flash forward, I think. Then I was told, another one said, they called, just like I said, they doing something like checking on my account, and told me that, well, mention it to the doctors. I was pissed. I'll use that word. I was usually say ticked. It just kind of came out. But I told 2 of them, and just the response, one of them listened, which is the one I'm dealing with now, and apparently they didn't listen. They just ignored me. And they heard, and then they ignored. Except for that one time. But then they must have forgotten, because it's procedure for them to just keep racking in visits and racking in that money, racking it, or whatever is the expression. But yeah. So that was that. Just more of that, more and more and more. I'm still waiting for that. What I sent them, I need to know. At this point, I need to know. I doubt I'm going to get anything. Probably, most likely, they'll be saying, well, we can't really tell you. That they're good at that. And then 2027, I might know the answer to it. It's something that should be done in one urgent care visit. Done, over with, period. Treated, all that. But no, it's going to have to go through my PCP. Even though I went to the urgent care, go through my PCP and then see how many appointments they can get in. So, was it yesterday? I don't know, because I'm a night owl, and I sleep usually during the day. Well, they call and wake me up. It says, what does it say? What did you hear? Do not call. Everything is supposed to go through their portal. Do not call me. But since I did that, they keep calling. They were calling before then. They're still calling. They think they don't have to listen to that. They don't have to read it and say, oh, patient says don't call. That had taken 2 calls last year to their help desk, and then now another one. She told me, it says do not call. They should not be calling you. Okay. Verified. Recorded. I'm getting much better at recording all these things. And, but the one that called me, they were asking for money. I haven't even been seen there yet. And then they were denying what they had told me before, was that they were going to run another test. It wasn't a test, it's a procedure. It's a big procedure. They were going to do another one, and it hasn't even been a year since they did the last one. I think they may have been called by their complaint line people, and told, no, she's, basically my account's being monitored by somebody saying that these doctors are doing all these tests and procedures when they're not supposed to be. They're not checking, they're not checking, they just keep, that one of them just did that, whatever it was, that the other time, and then they're doing it right after that again, and that's what tests you only do once a year, maybe twice. She went into detail with stuff like, she didn't tell me which ones did what, but I had a pretty good idea. It's been extremely frustrating. And one of the doctors actually told me, specialist, that he was going to find a way to, the second one I told 2 of them, and there's been more than 2. He actually said, maybe it's you who's doing that. No, I cannot schedule things like procedures. And since I'm not a doctor, I can't schedule them, and I wouldn't know which ones to schedule. So it would have to be them. He tried that. Seriously. He's older than I. He was when I met him, he was very aggressive. Adam was with me. Adam witnessed it. I made a statement when I went to the ER of what happened innocently about some of it, because it was a certain thing that people who keep calling me, and but it was before. And the doctor specialist in the hospital wrote it in his notes that I was basically turning it around on me. Yeah, it's my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault that their MAs tell the patient, me, that one of them told me that she's not going to listen to me. She's only going to go by what the doctor said. Yeah. And what little bits did I leave out this time, but I took another little break. And, but yeah, and I wound up, Adam went to go to the store to get our little stuff. He wanted to go by himself, and he did that. But, like I said, but while he was gone, it took so long just for me to get to the help desk. And the people did not understand my accent. And this is a Texas company. And the people on the phone did not understand my accent. This happens quite often. They don't understand my accent. Finally got one that, and one of them, their line was all messed up. Oh, on and on and on. And finally, I got to speak to someone, and she said that it does say that. And I said, well, that's good. And she said she doesn't know who would do the rest of it. Who would I call? She said all she knows is that I would call my provider and find out, why am I not getting my messages? Why are they not getting my messages? Okay, I leave a message with the person who schedules appointments. That's the only option to take. And besides, because I'm not a doctor or any of that. And the message never gets to it, or when it does, it's messed up. Has absolutely nothing to do, goes through the grapevine kind of thing. I'm not new to this planet. And yeah, goes through the grapevine. By the time it gets back to me, it had nothing to do with what I said in the first place. So, yeah. Anyway, I better go in because, like I said, Adam went and got the stuff, and I realized I had gotten he got me some insulin I need to put in the refrigerator because he doesn't know to do that, I don't think. Anyway, okay, I'm going to wrap this up.